Young and restless, Swerve in Chelsea's story left us heartbroken and disappointed, plus a couple's shakeup and Victoria's surprising misstep. Back from vacation, I found Young and Restless a little less intriguing this week than it had been previously. There was a lot going on, but nothing I felt super invested in, and some plots had lost a little steam. We'll see whether the soap can acquire traction again going into November sweeps. Tables turned. Phyllis may think that Diane's history coming to light is going to ruin her and push her out of town, but I think Diane is going to win Jack's sympathies, in part due to her strait with him, and he'll end up running to her rescue where Tucker and this would hinder Phyllis and Nikki's attempts to get rid of Diane and could pose problems for Kyle and Summer if she doesn't want his mother around Harrison when the shady stuff comes out. Ashley, meanwhile, will almost probably fall for Tucker again as she spends time pumping him for information on Diane, and we all know how that will play up. And we all know how that will turn out. Tucker acknowledged his intentions for coming after Chancellor this week, which, as we anticipated in a previous soapbox, is for him and Devon to control Catherine's company as their legacy. Of course, Catherine didn't leave it to Tucker, so expect Victor et al. To put up a fight. Misstep. Nick found himself in the unfortunate position of having to fire Sally, the woman he's been sleeping with, which may have opened up Newman Enterprises to a lawsuit. Given they finished up holding hands at the end of the chat, it's not likely to go that way. At least, not right now. Victoria gave Nate the post of CEO of Newman Media, which may be a rare blunder on her part, as Lily/Devon would immediately discover that she is the one he was conspiring with, and as Nick pointed out, he's arguably more untrained and unprepared than Sally. Worse, Sally may take her inside information and brilliant ideas elsewhere. In fact, I wonder whether she'll wind up as Lily's right-hand over at Chancellor Winters. I'm sure Adam would want to recruit her at Jabot, but not only would the notion be promptly vetoed owing to her history with Summer and Jack, but Sally certainly wouldn't want to work with Phyllis considering she had to walk out of society after 2 minutes next to her at the bar. It might be fun for viewers though. Love on the rocks. There are 3 couples with questionable prospects right now on Young and Restless, and a shakeup looks impending. None of the 3 are partners I'm very invested in. In fact, it's more enjoyable to predict on who the characters may wind up with next, and whether it will be someone who will make them more intriguing. Abby and Chance are certainly headed for disaster, what with him seemingly being preoccupied on work. If they divorce, he's likely to go with Chelsea or even Sharon, while Abby becomes closer to Devon, who just stated a growing gap, both literally and symbolically, from Amanda. I wanted Devon and Amanda to be a new version of Heaven, but the writing for them was never there. If Devon doesn't gravitate toward Abby, he might reconnect with Elena, generating more complications with cousin Nate. Finally, Lily rebuked Billy for his involvement with Nate, and their troubles only appear to be growing worse as she loses tolerance with his emphasis having gone from Victoria to Chelsea. Lily may wind up with the returning Daniel, and Billy could settle back with Chelsea, which would produce further drama with the Johnny scenario. Truce. I seem to love it when enemies find common ground, therefore I was a big admirer of the scenes with Victoria and Adam calling a mini truce this week. What exciting it would be to have a shift in that dynamic on a longer-term basis. They'd be unstoppable working together. Billy's statement about the 2 of them smiling at each other being the scariest thing he'd see on Halloween was so on point. This is nuts. Anyone who watched Melissa Claire Egan as Annie on All My Children or Chelsea at her cunning best on Young and Restless understands that there's a wealth to be mined in her playing an unstable character. With Chelsea snapping all over town, suspense was building for her to go off the rails, but instead, the writers quickly turned to a serious melancholy story. This government seems bent on presenting the character as a sympathetic romantic heroine type, despite though fans relish in Chelsea as deliciously cunning and off the wall. The type of character we could use on the canvas right now, by the way. This is not to take anything away from Egan, who has done a fantastic job with the heart-rending material. Let me know your opinions in the comments.